Today, we are diving into a truly groundbreaking book, Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow. We're going to explore the two systems inside your head, these two characters that are constantly battling it out to run the show. They dictate every single decision you make, from what you have for breakfast to who you decide to trust. One is super fast and intuitive, and the other, it's slow and logical. And really, understanding how they work together, or more often, how they don't, is the key to thinking smarter. So let's get right into it. All right, to kick things off, a little puzzle for you. Take a look at the question on your screen. Now, don't think too hard about it. Seriously, just let whatever answer that first pops into your head be the one. You got it? Okay, hold on to that answer. We're going to come back to it in a bit. Because the way your brain just coughed up that number, well, it reveals pretty much everything we need to know for today. So, that quick, intuitive leap your brain just made, that's actually the star of our show. But, it's not the only actor on the stage. To figure out if your answer was right, and to really get a handle on how we think, we need to meet the two main characters that Kahneman says are running the story in our minds. So yeah, think of your mind like a play, and it's got two main characters, System 1 and System 2. And these two have very different personalities. Their constant back and forth, their interactions, well, that's what shapes everything you think, judge, and choose. And here they are, side by side. On one side, you've got System 1. He's the hero of our story. Fast, totally intuitive, and completely automatic. It's your gut feeling. Then on the other side, you've got System 2. Kahneman calls it the lazy controller. It's slow, deliberate, and takes a ton of effort. This is the part of you that does the hard thinking, and this is a big but, it only gets involved when it absolutely has to. So most of your life is actually run by the hero, System 1, which, as you'll see, is both a gift and a curse. Let's spend some time with our lead character, System 1. This guy runs the show almost all the time, handling thousands of little judgments for you every single day without you even noticing. It's incredibly powerful, but it's also where all our biases and mental mistakes are born. Okay, just look at the screen for a second. Read those two words. What just happened in your head? You didn't just read two separate words, did you? No way. Your brain instantly and automatically made a connection. You probably recoiled a little bit, maybe felt a tiny flicker of disgust. And as Kahneman himself explains it, that reaction is pure System 1. It's an association machine, and it just links ideas together without your permission. You couldn't stop yourself from making a story, a causal link between bananas and vomit. Your brain just did it. This process actually has a name. It's called priming. Think of it like the invisible wiring behind our thoughts. Things we see, things we hear, things we read, they can prime our mind to think in certain ways. And this can influence our behavior in ways we don't even consciously realize. It's kind of spooky when you think about it. And this isn't just some neat lab trick. It happens all the time in the real world. In one famous study, a company put a poster of watching eyes over the honesty box where people paid for coffee and milk. And guess what? Payments nearly tripled compared to when a poster of flowers was hanging there. A simple picture, just that feeling of being watched, completely changed people's behavior. All of it was unconscious. So if System 1 is just running on autopilot, who's supposed to be flying the plane? Well, that brings us to our other character, System 2. This is your conscious, reasoning self. It's the one you think of as you. It's incredibly powerful, but its single most defining characteristic is that it is lazy. It takes real, actual work to get it going. And how do we know it's hard work? Because we can literally measure the effort. When you really engage System 2 in a difficult mental task, your body physically responds. Your heart rate actually goes up and, most visibly, your pupils dilate. They give you away. In these experiments, where people had to do really intense mental math, something called the Add3 task, the physical response was just dramatic. We're talking pupils blowing wide open, heart rate shooting up, and they became so focused they were often effectively blind to things happening right in front of their face. That's the price you pay to get System 2 off the couch. So here's the crucial point. Because using System 2 is so taxing, it operates on what Kahneman calls the law of least effort. If System 1 offers up a quick, easy answer that sounds plausible, System 2 will almost always just sign off on it without doing any of the hard work to double-check it. And that, right there, is where the trouble starts. This is that moment in our play where the hero's flaw, System 1's speed, and the controller's laziness, that's System 2, combine to create some serious drama.
This combination leads to what Kahneman calls cognitive illusions. These are predictable, systematic errors in our thinking that are just as hard to shake as an optical illusion. You can know it's wrong, but you still see it. Okay, remember our lily pad problem from the beginning? What answer did your System 1 serve up? For most of us, the number 24 just springs to mind. It feels right. It's simple. It's intuitive. But is it correct? This is a perfect moment where we need to wake up our lazy System 2.
The correct answer is 47 days. Just think about it for a second. If the patch doubles in size every day and it covers the entire lake on day 48, well, then it must have covered half the lake the day before, right? On day 47. But System 1 just grabbed the number 48, saw the word half, and quickly offered up 24. And System 2, being lazy, probably just said, "Yep, looks good to me," and moved on.
And here is some fascinating proof of this laziness in action. When researchers gave this puzzle to students in a nice, clear, easy-to-read font, a whopping 90% of them got it wrong. But when they printed the exact same puzzle in a faint, blurry, difficult-to-read font, the error rate dropped all the way down to 35%. Why? Because that hard-to-read font created cognitive strain, which basically acted like an alarm clock for the lazy System 2, forcing it to wake up, pay attention, and actually check System 1's math. How wild is that?
Now, a simple math puzzle is one thing, but this same dynamic can lead to really profound errors in how we judge people and situations. To see this play out, let's look at one of the most famous experiments in all of psychology. Let's meet Linda.
Okay, this is Linda. Just read the description on the screen. As you're reading, your System 1 is already building this rich, detailed picture of who she is, what she's like, and what she probably believes. You already have an intuitive feel for this person.
Now here are two possibilities. Which one do you think is more probable? A. Linda is a bank teller. Or B. Linda is a bank teller and is active in the feminist movement. Just go with your gut. Now, if you're like over 85% of people, you chose B. It just feels right. It fits the story, the picture your mind created about Linda.
But that choice, while it feels so right, is actually logically impossible. Think about it this way. The group of feminist bank tellers is a smaller, more specific group inside the larger group of all bank tellers. It's like asking if it's more probable for an animal to be a dog or a golden retriever. There are always going to be more dogs than golden retrievers. We fall for this trap because our System 1 substitutes what's plausible for what's probable. It prefers a good story over a boring fact. So, if our minds are just wired this way, are we doomed to make these kinds of mistakes forever? Well, not necessarily. The key isn't to somehow get rid of System 1. That's impossible, and we wouldn't want to. The key is to become a better director of this two-character play happening in our heads.
And Kahneman gives us a really realistic path forward. We can't be on high alert all the time. We'd be completely exhausted. But what we can do is learn to recognize the types of situations, like the lily pad problem or the Linda problem, where our intuition is likely to lead us astray. And when the stakes are high, that's our cue to consciously slow down and engage our lazy but very powerful System 2.
You know, ultimately, the most powerful takeaway from all of this is just being aware that these two systems are operating inside you right now. It gives you a language to talk and think about your own thinking. So the next time you get a strong gut feeling, a powerful intuition, you can ask yourself, is this the hero talking, or should I wake up the director? Because the first person's thinking you should question is always your own.